Welcome back to Cursed Destinations, the series where we explore the world's most unsettling places. Tonight, we journey to a place lost to time, a deserted village that holds a chilling secret. We've reached episode 11, The Silent Festival. Imagine a village, completely abandoned, its homes crumbling and streets reclaimed by nature. For 364 days a year, it lies in absolute silence, shrouded in darkness. But on one specific night, something inexplicable happens. The entire village bursts into light. Lanterns, hundreds of them, flicker to life, casting a warm, inviting glow over the empty streets. No one knows who lights them. No one knows who hangs them. They simply appear, year after year, heralding a festival for no one. This is the mystery that brought paranormal investigator Carla to its dusty doorstep. She had heard the whispers, the local legends of a spectral celebration, and she was determined to capture it on camera. As dusk settled, she waited, her equipment ready. The air grew cold, heavy with anticipation. Then, one by one, the lanterns began to glow, painting the decaying facades in shades of orange and gold. The silent festival had begun. Carla stepped out onto the main street, her camera rolling. The sight was breathtaking and deeply unnerving. The village was alive with light, yet utterly devoid of people. The lanterns swayed gently in the breeze, their glow illuminating empty doorways and vacant windows. It was beautiful, but the silence was deafening. Then, a faint melody drifted through the air. A haunting, old-world tune played on a phantom flute, joined by the soft strum of an unseen lute. The music grew louder, more festive, echoing off the stone walls. Carla filmed everything, her heart pounding. The streets were empty, but the music filled them with a ghostly presence. She panned her camera across a small square, and that's when she saw them. Shadows. Tenuous, flickering shapes twisting and turning in the lantern light. They moved with a strange, joyful grace, dancing as if at a grand celebration. Some shadows danced alone, while others twirled with invisible partners, their forms merging and separating in a silent, spectral ballet. It was a phantom party, a festival for the departed. The atmosphere grew more intense. Carla could now hear other sounds mixed with the music. Faint, ethereal clapping as if from a crowd that wasn't there. Bursts of ghostly laughter that seemed to come from all directions at once, yet from nowhere in particular. The rhythmic beat of drums began to throb through the ground, a primal, hypnotic pulse that vibrated deep in her chest. It felt like the village itself had a heartbeat. She was surrounded by the sounds of a lively festival, but her eyes saw only empty streets and dancing shadows. It was a complete sensory contradiction, a waking dream that felt more real than reality. She slowly backed away, trying to process the impossible scene unfolding before her. She was an observer, a documentarian capturing a phenomenon no one would believe. The music swelled, the phantom applause grew louder. Then, she felt it. A distinct, firm tap on her shoulder. She froze, her breath catching in her throat. Slowly, she turned around. There was no one there. Absolutely no one. Just the empty, lantern-lit street stretching out behind her into the darkness. Her blood ran cold. The feeling had been so real, so solid. It wasn't the wind, it wasn't her imagination. Someone or something had touched her. Panic began to set in. A primal fear that tightened its icy grip around her. She wanted to run, to get back to her car and leave this haunted place behind. But her journalistic instincts, her need for proof, kept her rooted to the spot. Her hands trembled as she raised her camera again. She pointed it back towards the square, but then, on a whim, she turned the small flip-out screen towards herself. She needed to see her own face, to ground herself in reality. But what she saw on the screen made her scream. The image was clear. It was her, standing in the middle of the street. But she wasn't standing still. On the camera's display, she was dancing. Her body was swaying to the phantom music, her arms raised in celebration, a wide, joyful smile plastered across her face as she twirled and spun with the shadows, a guest at the silent festival. By the time the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, the village had fallen silent and dark once more. The lanterns were gone, the music had faded, and the shadows had retreated with the night. Carla found herself sitting on the cold cobblestones, her camera clutched tightly in her hands. She had no memory of the last few hours, only a lingering feeling of euphoric exhaustion. The village was deserted again, just as it had been when she arrived. But as a cold wind swept through the empty streets, it carried a new sound. It was the faint, echoing sound of her own laughter, a joyful remnant of the festival, now a permanent part of the village's ghostly symphony. Scared yet? If you crave more tales from the edge of reality, make sure to subscribe and hit that follow button. Your next dose of horror is waiting. Thank you for watching.